This is going to be so funny when we go back to
my God,
review this book because I just know we're going to miss out.
Okay. The mentor jizz in London.
Plants are pollinating. That's just the plant come. Okay? You're welcome. Okay, guys. It has happened. Take a deep, long breath. The first 100 pages are here.
And we can't even begin to tell you how incredibly amazed and baffled we are by the first 100 pages.
Yes, we are 100 pages into The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout. And I am overwhelmed.
Yes, so let's be clear. We are at chapters 1 through 7. So we've read through chapter 7. That's what we're going to be reacting to. So if you have not read through chapter 7, leave this video.
Literally because the last page of chapter 7 is groundbreaking.
Unbelievable. Literally. So absolute spoilers ahead.
Let's discuss where we pick up.
Okay, so book 2 ended on such a big cliffhanger.
Some are saying,
huge cliffhanger where we find out that, well, Poppy kills a bunch of people on accident and then is literally told that she's a descendant of the gods.
The queen herself decrowns herself and is like, oh, you the real queen. Everybody kneel. And they all kneel. That's where we pick up, and immediately we are thrown into action.
I don't even understand how these are two different books.
It's like
so seamless.
Right. It's like, wait a second, she can't be queen yet. She hasn't been crowned. Wait a second. Alistair is a snake in the grass, but not even really. We've always known he was clearly against her. Always.
Book 2 gave us such creepy vibes.
Traitor. Out. We're out on Alistair. We think that Castile, dead. We think Kieran, dead. Then I was like, maybe
Jasper,
they're just dead. Then I thought maybe they were turned to stone. And then my brain was like, oh my God.
They've been petrified.
I was like, she's going to have to go hundreds of pages without him. And that's like the drought, you know?
Absolutely
it's like, when you want your love characters together, you got to find reasons to pull them apart. So my brain, I was like, okay, he's going to be out of the book for a while. I was distraught. She's taken. Before she's taken, she takes out a lot of people. She's doing the glowy thing.
Yeah.
Her power is cool. I can visualize it.
Yeah, the moonlight.
Yes, I imagine like in a movie or TV show or whatever, like the slow-mo of her walking with like the storm, Halle Berry eyes, and like slow-mo with like rock music. So her power is really cool. Then she gets knocked out. Bada bing, bada boom. Wakes up somewhere.
Bones seem to be very important in these books, both bones and boning.
Bones. You gotta think it's in the title. As soon as they find out that she has a drop of deity blood in her, all of a sudden, the woven bonds are broken, and now they're all loyal to her. How freaking sucky is that? What if she was a sucky person and they were like bonded to her?
That would suck.
I wonder if she'll go dark.
And like Kieran and Cass are.
What if she maybe that's like a Lou, like goes dark thing?
Oh, I love Lou.
Put a pin in that.
So after this, we have a lot of grandstanding from Alistair. Which is honestly a bit much, but the plot moves so fast that I was just more irritated that I wasn't to the next thing.
Yes.
But like, it's such an information dump.
What's to discuss, Katie? You made a good point. We spend most of the second book traveling. We're on a path. We're going to Atlantia. Atlantia. Is it Atlantis? Nobody knows.
So they spend so much of book 2 traveling, and then literally in the first 100 pages, we're halfway back the way that we came.
Yeah. So they bind her with the primal magic stuff that wipes out deities. He tells her
bones of the deities.
Yes, that. We find out she's a descendant of Nyktos, if I'm saying that right.
God of death.
And his descendant is Malik. Not Malik.
Castiel's brother.
Yes. But might be the same person.
Castiel's mom's ex-husband, King Malik.
Yikes. Also, this little nugget, forgot here in chapter 3, he's like, don't worry, Castiel's not dead. So then he immediately tells us that he's not dead. He could have easily convinced her he was, but he's still pretending like he cares about Atlantia, so he doesn't want Castiel dead. Okay.
Right.
I'll buy it for now. Then we get shocker, the next shocker, Jensen is Beckett, and they killed
killed the boy.
Boy Beckett.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
Because, not that I would have noticed, Katie, I'll be honest with you. She had to be like, well, shoot. Maybe she knew she was always going to do that, but it also could have been like, shoot, you know what? I really need that wolf. Like, someone in that room needed to be against her, and none of the characters that are, I'll make this one. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I do think that, like, at the end of the last book, I was particularly heartbroken that Beckett had betrayed her.
Yeah.
But then it's, like, bittersweet knowing he didn't betray her, but he was murdered for it.
Right. And it's like, do they need to be the same person? Like, or could they both have just been against her, Jensen and Beckett? Like, why was it important that they be one?
To show that they are ruthless enough to kill children.
You're right. That's actually exactly why it's a cut. Done case. That's why they did it.
Straight from City of Glass.
You're right.
Yeah. So Alistair is like explaining how there's this brotherhood of secret guardians who are protecting the real interests of Atlantia, and they've made sure that every descendant of King Malik has been eliminated.
Yes.
For centuries. Yikes.
Basically, he's like, the DDs only do things for themselves. They're self-serving, they kill, they do all these things at their own whatever pleases them. Which is just ironic because that's what Alistair is doing. It's like what serves him best. And he's like, well, what I want though is what's best for Atlantia. And it's like, well, that's your opinion.
Right.
And he's willing to kill his own for it.
Right.
I love the explanation where it's just oh wait, why isn't Alistair, the other wolf, bonded to Poppy, you might ask?
Oh! Because he broke his original bond with King Malik. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I also feel like it's convenient.
But I like, because we did learn in the second book that he couldn't turn into his wolven form.
Yeah.
And so we know that he hasn't been able to be a wolven for centuries.
Yeah. Then we get finally to the prophecies. See, everything we just did, that was pages 1 through 60. Now we get to Alistair. This is really what he's hanging his hat on. And to be honest, it's a weak argument.
It's pretty weak. Weak.
With the last chosen blood spilled, the great conspirator birthed from the flesh and fire. What? Okay. Flesh and fire of the primals will awaken as a harbinger and a bringer of death and destruction to the lands gifted by gods. Beware, for the end will come from the west to destroy the east and lay waste to all which lies between. To all which lies between. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't say one specific, the last chosen blood. That doesn't mean like
the last chosen blood.
That doesn't mean a person. It could be, the way blood spill, that could be, you could take just that one line and it could be, this is prophecy 101, folks. It's not what you think it is.
Reading enough fantasy.
Has he ever once in his life picked up a fantasy novel? Has he heard?
He's clearly not a reader.
You gotta think of how prophecy's introduced, that we can go ahead and safely say it's not what it seems. But to be honest, what it seems is not super clear to me.
Yeah,
it's not like it's the one kid born in this month will be the,
Right. It's not any Voldemort picking Harry.
Right. It's also it's even less clear than like the Circe one.
Yeah.
Which you think, that one comes out very cut and dry.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They've gone all the way back into the mountains, and his plan is to give her to the Ascended. So she realizes his plan is to kill two birds with one stone. Basically by like sending a bomb in. Like them not
like
knowing.
A suicide bomb.
It's like, she's like, okay, detonate now, and then he like pushes
her
in.
It's interesting because she does think, she's like, well, I wouldn't let them take me. That is what I would do.
Yeah,
she's basically 100%. Like, yeah, that's what would happen. But like, would it really achieve what he wanted?
Right, for a while, I think. So they get to the meeting point. Mm-hmm. And the she's like being handed over to the Ascended, and then whoopsie daisy, Wolven are there, and Castiel.
Is that Castiel's music?
Is that Castiel dismembering and disemboweling people left and right? Yes.
Wow.
Really love that in this moment, Castiel is like never more violent, and Poppy has contemplated all these things that Alistair's been telling her, like she's going to turn into a monster, and she's like, I'm not evil. I don't enjoy killing. And it's like, there are 2 books that show that you actually kind of do.
Well, and then she thinks about it. She's like, actually, no, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
But she's like, but I'm also choosing it. This is what I choose.
I choose
it's not just
violence.
happening. It's not just like, I have no control over this violence. I want it. So it's fine.
So in this fight, Poppy at first was like, you know what, I'll sit out. And then Jansen, who hit her, like Castiel's about to kill him. And she's like, never mind, I want that one. And then she's like, I told you I'd kill you. And then he also kills her. You heard it here.
Yikes.
She is killed.
It's a classic mess around.
Classic. Kristen, whenever I tell you, well, you witnessed me reading these last pages. I was so shocked whenever not only was a tree growing around them,
a double death into
double
a tree. Death. And then I was like, ooh, gotta reread this because I don't really understand the trees coming up.
I don't understand this tree. Well, the trees are obviously very important from like
we've got leaves, we've got leaves, we've got leaves. Okay, so tell me again about your shock.
I was so shocked that she becomes an Ascended.
I was jaw-dropping when they were like, he's like, you can't do this, you can't do this. Well, because remember earlier, she's kind of hurt and he gives her his blood.
Yes, and he's like, not enough to make you Ascended.
And then I was having flashbacks of Vampire Diaries when they heal her and then she
dies.
Spoiler alert. Dies in a car crash and turns into
so
a
many other things in this movie, in this film.
You gotta think in this film, we're spoiling a lot.
Okay,
so she's dying.
It has been foreshadowed heavily, and I
now
just
it's
refuse to
It's now
believe
embarrassing knowing because they talk about this. Well, they talk about a lot of things. They talk about
so
ascending,
much,
and
like
then
how
literally
horrible it
2
is.
pages before gives her his blood to heal her. Why didn't I not see this coming? But honestly, it would have paid out more if it had been like a later scene and we'd forgotten that she got his blood. But I think it has to be in a certain amount of time.
I feel like...
So then he stabs her so that she fully dies with the blood in her and she turns into an Ascended. So goodbye sunlight. It's been nice. Hope you find your paradise in the dark.
With the dark one.
With Jai-Ho. It's forecasted. There's a strong chance of ascension.
Of true love.
I don't understand. If that much happens every 100 pages, I don't know where we'll be in 100 pages from. Like, how can I possibly begin to give you a prediction of where this book is going? Give me your thoughts. Like, where do you think this is going? Hit me with your hot takes, your predictions.
Based on, I've been like pretty heavily stalking Jennifer L. Armentrout's Instagram.
Yes, absolutely.
So she's been dropping a lot of like quotes and scenes. And I definitely think, based on her saying it, that we're gonna get like a new big bad. Not like a big bad, but maybe just like the bad for this book we haven't met
Not
yet.
the
so not like the
Ascended
king and queen or anything, but like someone new
from
is
like
going
a different
to be
land.
No, maybe just someone working with them.
Okay.
But someone who's going to be like the main problem of this book. I think that Poppy is going to spend a lot of this book upset that she's Ascended.
You have to think that's on the table. Again, I found myself thinking as soon as I read it, I always thought that something would happen so she would be immortal too. And I was like, well, they'll be together forever. That's how it's gonna end. The 2 of them, a long-term prediction, mark me down. The 2 of them, together forever, okay?
Forever,
Those 2 kids.
Forever, ever?
Her brother. We've got to see Ian this book.
Any brother. Any
can't.
brother. Ian.
That's a good call.
Malik. Any brother. Show them to us.
I think Malik is bad.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they've turned him.
And I think that Ian is good.
But I think Ian's bad, but I like
you
that
think
so much more.
Both of them would end up being bad?
The scientist. 2 wrongs make a right.
Oh,
maybe
so
they're together.
Oh, well, I would love that. Siblings with siblings.
Put it down now. Wow. Joint wedding. They're already married though. So I think that Malik is Malik. I think he just like has not changed name. Like how like the Darkling. Like it's just like these iterations of names. Like he's actually much older. Like they're both old. I don't know. That could be like not possible timeline. We're not experts on the history of like.
We're not actually super experts on these books.
We're sitting here explaining things to you. And I hope that you're sitting there and you've written down every time that we have just said things that don't make sense. Because this book there's just so much information.
There is. And I read the first 2 books so fast.
Yeah. I also think that Malik, depending on if he was locked up or not at the time, had something to do with her parents dying, like with Alistair.
Yes. The Dark One, having Alistair reference the Dark One and then make a point to say I wasn't referring to Castile.
Right, because for a second there, thought Castile had been a part of her parents dying. I was like, oh no, she's gonna have to get over that. That's a whole thing. Something just hit me.
Okay,
but she's a daylighter. She's gonna be able to go out in the sun.
I bet you're right. Because she's descended from both the god of life and the god of death.
So we have to figure out the full truth. What happened the night her parents died, / she got her scar. What's going on with Ian? And then, is the queen her grandma? Is she not? I need to know the actual full history of the Ascended. Because right now it's all these like hearsay folklore. So what else is gonna happen? Is this just gonna come down to a battle of the East and the West?
But
just
we
like
also
prophecy. Where are we going?
Know how many books are in the series.
Right, that is also very confusing. We know there's gonna be another book release that runs concurrent, but she can't say who the character is because that might spoil something. There's gonna be another book release that runs at the same time as one of these from characters that I don't know if we know the character or not. I could maybe see it being from Castile's brother.
It's Ian?
It might be Ian. One of the brothers.
The mysterious brothers we've never seen.
Okay, this is the question on everyone's mind, Katie. Will there be a threesome, Katie?
Yes.
Who with?
Castile, Kieran, and Poppy.
Do you think they're gonna do the joining?
Yes, but
can they do it since she's an Ascendant?
I don't know.
Let me be clear. They could obviously have a threesome. I just don't know if it would achieve it.
But it's not like isn't the joining like to extend her life? Isn't that why they do it? So they don't have to anymore.
So it would just be for
It would just be for fun.
Just a funsie. I hope that there's not with those three, but I hope there is with other characters.
I agree.
Boom, you heard it here first.
Bring me that threesome. I'm here for it. But like
deliver the threesome.
I just don't really want Kieran to have sex with Poppy and Hawk. That's it. I would love to see him have sex with anybody else.
Yeah, I hope Kieran has a lot of sex with not our two main characters. There's a lot to dive into. I honestly thought this entire review would be us talking about their hookups, and the fact that there has not been any sex is mind-blowing to me.
Agreed. So whenever we do our full review, hopefully we'll have some boning to talk about.
Until next time, I am Kristen.
I'm Katie.
And this is Kristen and Katie Reed.
Stay incest free.